An officer pulls you over, a cop in West Jordan gets what you're going through.
Yeah, she uses her own traumatic experience as motivation to make sure you never feel that way with her. ABC4's Brian Carlson explains in tonight's Behind the Bench.
When you hear what happened to this officer, you may think becoming a cop is the last thing she'd want to do. But she believes her traumatic story helps her connect with people and makes her a better officer. If you get pulled over by a cop, you may hope it's Officer Alana Zavala of West Jordan.
7800 South.
It's Zavala's personal goal to change your perception of police.
If I can do that and want to call for one person and they have a better life because of it, that makes me feel like I've accomplished what I put this badge on for.
Zavala knows what it's like to be afraid of police.
And I'll be 10-8.
Shortly before she became an officer, Zavala says she and her family were kidnapped by two corrupt Mexican cops on a family trip on the Gulf of California.
Afterwards, yeah, it was definitely like, wow, I can't believe this just happened. Like, it's crazy. You hear about it, and I was joking about it before I had left, but never in a million years did I think it would actually happen. We were on our way to visit my grandmother. You're always told when you live in Mexico not to drive or to be very careful when you drive. So as we were driving, we got pulled over by law enforcement. They stopped the vehicle and asked my mother for her license and registration. There was another officer on the passenger side who asked my mother's husband to get out of the vehicle. And as soon as he opens the door, the other officer opens the driver's side door and immediately pushes my mother into the center console. And both officers jump in the vehicle and start driving off to basically the middle of nowhere.
She says the only reason they escaped was running into a decent cop who scared the others off.
There wasn't any internet service or any service at all where we were being held, so he had to go back near the main road. Well, when he was driving back to near the main road, he found another officer who was driving around in the area. And that officer obviously could have called for help or could have done something, so he immediately told the guys that were holding us that they should get rid of us at that point.
Once they made it back, Zavala says she knew why some people are afraid of police and decided she wanted to be a cop you can trust.
I just started thinking about people's perspectives that I went to school with and what their experience was with law enforcement, and it wasn't always good. However, there's always that one person that has one good experience with law enforcement, and that changes their perspective.
Zavala believes if she can help you know she understands what it's like to be scared and stressed with police, it's a lot easier to build trust and maybe change the way you look at the next cop car you see. Now, it wasn't just her getting kidnapped that made her want to become an officer. Years before she joined the police department, she worked at different rehabilitation centers for people with substance abuse, mental illness, and trauma, including becoming a licensed sexual assault advocate at the age of 16, working for a rape recovery center, all to just better understand and talk with people when she did become a cop. Back to you.
Now to a weather alert. 2 months into the new year, and Utah's Department of Transportation has already blown through their budget for snow removal.
All right, I'm not complaining about that, though. This thanks to a winter of snowstorm after snowstorm. So far this year, snowplow drivers have driven more than 2 million miles with 100,000 hours behind the wheel and over 200,000 tons of salt on the roads. The annual budget is roughly $24 million, and UDOT has already hit costs of nearly $6 million. So the department now has to shuffle funds around to continue clearing roads.
We have paving projects or chip seal projects that can be pushed off till July, the next fiscal year, so that we can handle these essential responsibilities, plowing the roads, pothole repair, those things that would constitute a safety concern.
Okay, the last time UDOT went over budget was 4 years ago.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
And we're not even done with the snow yet.
No, it just keeps on coming, Alana.
Yeah, 4 years ago, that's when we had an active winter, but nope, this winter going, okay, we can do this. And UDOT actually putting out a new travel impact map with our next storm that's going to roll in overnight, actually highlighting road snow in different portions of the state since our last two. That includes southern Utah, southeastern Utah, and towards the Wasatch Plateau. We do have road slush expected statewide. We'll get into this system. Bryce Canyon live look. Sun is out there, and we definitely know that we've got quiet conditions conditions right this second. That is going to change. We will be dealing with snow in this area, and a winter storm warning is in effect and will hold on. We also see those winter storm warnings in the north for the Wasatch as well as the backside. That will hold on until Wednesday at 5 p.m. So northern Utah holding steady with the high country and the snow. As we jump down to southern Utah, our winter storm warning has been expanded. It includes now the southwest desert, cities like Beaver, Cedar City, Milford, now under that winter storm warning and a winter weather advisory towards Delta, so parts of Juab and Millard counties, that winter weather advisory for Castle Country, as well as southeastern Utah. These hold on until early Thursday morning. So this next storm coming through is going to favor southern Utah, but widespread precip is expected. I'll show you the timeline. Current conditions in Salt Lake show the clouds increasing. Pretty shot there from our Ensign Peak camera. Temperatures now hitting 40 degrees. We made it to the low 40s, but things cooling off. Look at that wind gust, 26 miles per hour coming out of the south. That helps with the warmer temperatures, but we know we're going to drop. We get colder air moving in. Satellite radar shows that increasing cloud cover. Moving in from the west, moisture is going to start to move in that warm sector of the storm, noticeable on the satellite. As I mentioned, this storm will favor southern Utah. There are some major roads that will see heavy snow. That includes I-15 through Black Ridge. SR9 near Zion National Park will see slick conditions and accumulating snow. 89 could deal with blowing snow, and then SR12 in south central Utah towards Capitol Reef, also looking at slippery conditions and blowing snow at times. So major roadways. Warm sector of the storm. We're in it right now, but the cold front will sweep through. We get wet weather filling in as we get towards ABC4 News at 10. It's in northern Utah and the southern half of the state. This area of low pressure is going to trek right through the Beehive State. By 4 a.m., its counterclockwise flow is going to funnel in and trigger snowfall in central, southern, and northern Utah. That wraparound of the low hits the north, which means the morning commute has the potential to be sloppy yet again. So the Wednesday morning commute statewide could see some winter impacts by 7 a.m. That system is right there moving into the central portion of the state, which means we keep churning with the snow showers, heavier precip down south by the afternoon. This system is going to track east. Wraparound gets us by the evening, but it starts to clear the north, which means quiet conditions. The mountains will continue to see snow, but snow showers will start to dwindle. We watch as this system moves all the way to the east. By midnight, southeastern Utah is the only area still dealing with that snow as we roll into Thursday morning. Quiet conditions overall to start Thursday and to end it. Okay, let's talk about snowfall. We are getting additional accumulations throughout the state. So as a result, 8 to 16 in the northern mountains. Uintas could get another half a foot to a foot. 8 to 16 in the central mountains and down south. How about another 1 to 2 feet? Bryan Head, Pine Valley Mountains. Heavy snow expected in this region. Kane County will get snow too. Kanab, you're going to get some healthy amounts. Valleys will see minor impacts in northern Utah. Central valleys at 2 to 6, 5 to 10 in the south. Places like Cedar City, St. George, trace when it comes to snowfall. Higher elevations of Washington County could get up to 3. You can see 2 to 5 in Castle Country. Additional snow of 4 to 10 in our mountain valleys, Bryce Canyon in that arena. 30s for tomorrow. Thunder snow potential in southeastern Utah. 30s for the I-15 corridor and mid-40s in St. George. Now we do have wet weather in St. George proper. They shouldn't see that mixed precip. We could see parts of Washington County dealing with it, but St. George proper, not so much. Gradual warming trend drying out in the south as we get through the next several days. Wasatch Front, snow tomorrow. Brush by system Friday. Latter half of the weekend and into next week, the potential for snowfall is there. Temperatures remain below average, but we do get some break days. That includes tomorrow or Thursday as we get wind chill values. Tomorrow, we'll get a break later on as the system clears.
Okay.
I'm all for jumping to Thursday.
You love, okay, I believe that, but you also love this pattern. Snow for the overnight, quiet during the day.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alana.